All right, so good afternoon. Welcome to our first meeting. What an honor to be a part of the work of refreshing the national standards for online learning and teaching. Very, very excited about this work. I'm going to first introduce myself, and then if all of us can introduce ourselves, and then that way when we send this out to the rest of the group, um, it'll allow everyone to get to know each other. Um, So it's always good to get to know each other before we just dive into the work. I'm going to give Kim 1 second to connect. Kim, welcome.
I'm so sorry. I'm 2 minutes late. Please
Oh,
don't.
no, look, there is no shame here. It is summertime. There wouldn't be any shame if it was the middle of winter, but definitely no shame in summer. So, quick introduction. I'm Dr. Mark Slider. I am the supervisor of online learning here at the Chester County Intermediate Unit here in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. It is an honor and a joy to work with all of you. Um, I do mean this sincerely. I am humbled to be the work lead and to be leading this brilliant group of people from all across the country. Um, and so again, welcome to this work. Really, really excited about it. And I'm about as laid back of a person as you're ever going to find. Um, so we will, I hope you find that I'm pretty approachable, and, easy to get along with. So we would like to create that vibe and keep that vibe for our group. Um, so with that being said, do I have a volunteer to go next to introduce themselves? Go ahead, Andrea.
Hey, I'm Andrea Wilkinson. I'm an instructional specialist in the Madison City Support Center, and I'm with Access Virtual Learning in Alabama. Anything else you want me to share, Mark? This is my 24th year in public education. I was a former German teacher, and I taught virtually for 10 years with the Access program, and now I'm in the support center supervising teachers and teachers and helping facilitators, counselors, and all our stakeholders.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Trixie, do you mind going next?
Sure thing. So my name's Trixie. That is my real name. Everybody always wants to know. I work with Virtual SC, which is a program through our State Department of Education. So we teach students public, private, charter, homeschool, free courses, middle and high. And I'm an instructional coach. I previously was a Spanish teacher and taught online for about 12 years. And then before that, I was in the brick and mortar classroom. So excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Greg, do you mind going next?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Akai. I'm here in Los Angeles, California. Every time I mention Los Angeles to people outside the area or the state, I get some funny looks. I guess LA's in the news quite a bit these days. But regardless, I am a director at Loyola Marymount University here in Los Angeles. I also am a adjunct professor at Loyola Marymount, but also Cal State Los Angeles. I've been using the NSTQs for a few years now in higher ed, teaching my higher ed students. So I'm interested in exploring not only the K-12, but the higher ed aspect as well.
Greg, that is really cool. So I'm married and have 4 kids, and we are actually taking a road trip to California later this summer. So we will be out in your neighborhood at some point.
Okay.
And, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd like to meet Mark. If it's
Yeah.
if our calendars line up, that'd be great.
Yeah, it would be cool to have a cup of coffee in California. Um, Laura, please go next.
Sure. Hi, I'm Laura Odell. I'm probably one of the newbies to this area and line of work. I'm a K-5 instructor for my school district that I'm teaching for, which is Conestoga Valley here in Lancaster County. So not far from.
You're a
Yeah.
neighbor.
Yep. Yeah. So I've been teaching in that position for a few, this will be my 3rd year coming up. But I'm really interested in the standards and even getting to know them from the first perspective. Also, I'm on my summer break and there are multiple kids here. So if someone goes running past, I'm staying on mute, and they've been told, but we don't know. So, but I'm really excited to be here and to learn from you guys and to work with you. It's awesome.
Well, welcome. It's good to have another Pennsylvania colleague on the call. I did not expect that. Joanne, please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Joanne Barnett. I'm currently the senior consultant for the Center of Digital Learning Research, Design, and Resources. And what we do is we go into school districts and nonprofits and businesses to help them infuse digital learning into their organization. Prior to that, I was the CEO of a Pennsylvania virtual charter school for 14 years. So I've been in this line of work since desktops, which seems like eons ago, and how virtual learning has changed. Prior to that, I worked in higher education and the K-12 sphere as an administrator and classroom teacher. So I'm delighted to be with the group to join in this very important work.
Well, thank you and welcome. All right, I'm going to try this again. Huneda?
Yeah, pretty close. Nice, actually. My name is Honada, and I am, I think, the overseas one. So I have to say welcome from Dubai. And it's really a pleasure, an honor to be with this team to learn from. At the moment, I am the educational advisor to the director of the Sharjah Private Education Authority. Just last year, actually, like a few years back, during the pandemic, I was the founding member of Sharjah Education Academy, the second online university in UAE, accredited by the authority. And before that, I was a leader for the Smart Learning Project for the Ministry of Education across the 6 Emirates in UAE. So that was one of the biggest projects about smart learning right before the pandemic. And I was part of the team who actually created the e-maturity framework for the digital transformation in UAE. Prior to that, I worked with the private sector for Pearson Education and for different authorities. And yeah, I'm school inspector as well. So wonderful to be here.
Thank you. We just went from national to international. This is really cool. What a delight. Thank you. Kim?
Well, now we're going to come right back to the US. I'm Kim Bennett. I live right outside Memphis and taught in Memphis City Schools, and then a smaller but still kind of larger district in also West Tennessee. And right now I live in North Mississippi, and I work for Bridgeway Academy, which is actually based out of Catasauqua. And Laura and Mark, you may know where that is. It's in the Lehigh Valley. But anyway, I'm an instructional technologist and systems specialist. And I've been working online since 2011 in different capacities, but I've been with Bridgeway since 2016.
I was actually up there last weekend, so I know exactly where you're speaking of.
I was in Allentown, the last of, oh, I don't know. We had our graduation and our summit. And I don't remember the days, but it was, I don't know, it feels like I've been back about a week, but I think maybe it's longer than that. I think maybe it was the first week in June, and here it is in July, and it doesn't feel like that.
No, I
And
don't know where June went. June
what
flew.
happened?
Was the fastest June of my life, I can assure you.
That's
All right.
crazy.
Well, thank you, Kim.
Sure.
I'm going to try this. Monet, how did I do?
You did right, just like the painter, Monet.
Good. Outstanding. Welcome, Monet.
Thank you. Monet Baker. I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I have not been to the beach at all this summer, which is a tragedy. I got to get it together. I work for K-12 Stride and work with them. I started as a teaching training manager, so supporting professional development for all of our teachers. And now I work as a senior manager for our learning platform for training and professional development. So overseeing everything that we put into our training platform, asynchronous and live trainings, things like that. Actually just started that position a couple weeks ago, so still learning the ropes. But I came to online teaching while I was teaching brick and mortar. Our school system opened a virtual learning offering for students prior to the pandemic. We had kind of started dipping our toes into that. And so was teaching brick and mortar during the day and doing online teaching at night for the school system, and did that for quite a while. And then came over to Stride. So here we are.
Outstanding. Very familiar with Stride. That's awesome. Brad, go ahead.
Greetings, glad to be here. I spent most of my career working in public education, P-12, in a variety of roles. Currently work at Indiana Wesleyan University. I'm always embarrassed to say my role out loud, but I'll say it one time. Digital Learning Scholar in Residence. Doing a lot of research on innovations in online learning. And I also teach graduate programs in education and psychology.
Very cool. Well, thank you. We have an interesting compilation of professionals. Yeah, I do love that title. We have a very interesting compilation of professionals here, literally from around the world. So I probably should have went into my online experience. I'm in my 25th year as an educator. In 2005, I started in the cyber world. And then I've been at two of the cyber charter schools here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I wrote my dissertation on preparedness to teach in the virtual environment. And then I'm also an adjunct professor at two universities up here in Pennsylvania, one being Gwendolyn Mercy University and one being at Immaculata University. So I work at an intermediate unit. And so let me describe briefly what that is here in Pennsylvania. An intermediate unit, there are 29 of them, and they kind of work under the Department of Education in order to support school districts. And as a part of that work, we have 40 school district partners across Pennsylvania, where we become the back end of their virtual learning program. So if you were to log into your local virtual school district program, we provide all the content, all the teachers, a virtual office, support from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 4 days a week, and 8 to 4 on Friday. So we do pretty much everything on the back end while you always maintain being a part of your local school district. So, and then I've also had 2 stints in private education. One as a teacher, and then one as an executive director. So, all of that, and I still pay $3.69 for gasoline, just like everyone else in Pennsylvania. So I'm really not that special. All right. So what I'm going to do at this time, I'm going to try in the chat to share these 2 links. Let's see if the miracle of technology works. And then I'm also going to send a follow-up email afterwards with these links as well. And then I'm going to get into the directions. So my new friend Andrea was so helpful this morning. When I sent her the link this morning, it worked, and I was excited. So now we're going to see if the link works for you. So if the link did work for you, if you could give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. Outstanding. Great. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over the directions. We're going to talk about the timeline. We're going to divvy up the work in a way that we're all comfortable. And then we're going to talk about when we're going to meet and when the next meeting will be. So with that, I'm going to jump in. So I'm not going to do this. So we are assigned 2 standards. So standard C, which is community building, and then standard D, which is learner engagement. And the directions are the same, so I'm not going to go over them twice. So I know we all can read, but I just sent this to you. I'm going to surmise and summarize the directions, and then obviously you can read them all in more detail. But basically, the bottom line is we are going to look at the existing standards that we have in front of us. If there's any current wording that we feel needs to be changed, we're going to highlight those specific changes in red. If there are any, and you're going to see as you scroll down that there are boxes where all this is laid out ever so nicely. And then in the column labeled proposed changes, if we need to rewrite a standard or an indicator, we will put any specific changes in text highlighted in red in the first column, so everybody knows what we've changed. And then if there are no proposed changes, we'll just leave that portion blank. And then after we've noted our proposed revisions, we will explain what we were thinking and then support it with the research. And then obviously, if we end up changing the wording of the standards or the indicators, we obviously got to take a deeper dive into all of the standards to see what the implications might be on any other standards. And then obviously, if we're going to recommend adding a standard, we'll make that clear by stating that we're adding it. And if we're going to delete it, we'll make that clear by calling out the fact that we're deleting it. So I am a simpleton. If anything, I oversimplify things rather than overcomplicate them. And so if you think any of this needs to be more complicated than what I'm making it, feel free to tell me that. But in total, including me, we have 13 people. And so there are 2 standards and there are 12 indicators. So again, being a simpleton, if there are 12 people and there are 12 indicators, by golly, we could all review one, but that might not be the way we want to do it, right? We might want to take sections and work together in a group because all of us is smarter than one of us, right? So I've thought about this a few ways. I've thought about it like, simple math, like 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then I've thought about it 12 divided by 1. But again, one of us is not as smart as all of us. So I'm pretty open-minded in my thinking. So let's all be thought partners for a moment. How would you like to divvy this up? And then as you're thinking that, and then I actually will be quiet this time. If you're more passionate about one of the 2 standards, then let's talk about that and highlight that. So if you're really into engagement, but you really could care less about community building, then by all means, volunteer to be a part of the standard that, causes the most amount of interest and engagement and passion for you. All right. So with that, I'm going to be quiet and listen to all of you. And we're going to practice wait time because, we're educators and wait time is effective.
Well, I think I would think maybe we could just split into 2 groups. One of us, one group look at C, the other look at D, and then we come back together and share what we came up with in that small group. And then I think that would probably just for me, because I'd love to chat with other people about their thoughts on the standard itself and then the indicators if needed. So that would be my thoughts.
Mark, what type of timeline are we working with?
You would think 4 years after COVID, I would know to unmute. By golly. Yeah, we're looking to accomplish the bulk of this work in the month of July. So in July, the work groups will work on revisions. And then in August, the initial revisions will be ready for review. And then I'll send our collective work back to the leadership group, definitely by the end of August. If we could have this wrapped up somehow by the middle of August before our schools in Pennsylvania get going, that would be great. But I also realize we have people from all around the nation, and your schooling might start the beginning of August. So I want to be respectful of everyone's time, but I feel like the more aggressive we are, it will defeat the opportunity for procrastination to sneak in.
That being said, I think it was Trixie who spoke last. I like Trixie's idea of us dividing into two groups, taking a stab at it, coming back, and then we would have enough time if we wanted to switch off and after the discussion, to still do that and meet the time constraints.
Mhm.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, good. Okay, well, that was simple. All right, now, does anyone have a burning desire to be a part of Standard C, which is community building? Okay, so I see Brad. Anyone else have a preference for community building? Okay, does anyone have a preference for Standard D, which is learner engagement? Okay, give me 1 second. If you can keep your hand up, that would be great. So I got Greg, I got Andrea, I got Laura, got Hunada, I got Joanne. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I have one more volunteer? Okay. I got you, Kim. All right, so and everybody else is going to Group C. And then, okay, so I really like the way this is shaped out. So I will send out that email as soon as we are done. And then since we're splitting into two groups, I'm just gonna say if amongst your two groups, if somebody could lead the internal discussion, if you guys wanna divvy up the indicators, or if you want to get together and look at all of them, I'm good. I don't have a preference how you do it. You guys just go do your thing. So, so we met today because I was worried about the 4th of July, and I was afraid if we did not meet today, that half the month could disappear and we still wouldn't meet. And then that would cause issues, right? So, does anyone is Monday a good day? Is Monday not a good day? Monday's all right. So so let me ask you this. If we meet every Monday at 1 o'clock, pardon me, if we meet every Monday at 2 o'clock for the month of July, will that be an issue with anyone? And then if you can't make it, we'll record, right? So, all right, excellent. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to divvy up the two groups. I'm going to send out the two links. I'm going to join Group C, but that doesn't mean I have to be the person that leads the conversation. Is it all right if I just make an executive decision? Joanne, do you mind being like the unofficial leader of Group D and just be my point of contact? Is that okay? Okay. Excellent. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then Brad, you're gonna be the unofficial leader of Group C.
Okay,
And I'll send out that email. And then you guys can work asynchronously on your own. And then we will circle up. I'll put a meeting invite. Now that I think I have all of your emails, I'll just send out an email and say, hey, we're going to meet every Monday in the month of July at this time. And then we will do what we can to keep that time as sacred as it can be. All right, after you're done reading the directions, if you have any questions, feel free to email me if there's anything that is unclear. Any questions, any thoughts, anything that you want me to address?
so in addition to the Mondays at 2, do the subgroups meet as well separately?
Yeah, so
Okay.
so yes. So the Monday will be more of a check-in. And then we can either work asynchronously, or we can, like, if some of us want to meet up in a Zoom room and work collaboratively for maybe a half an hour to an hour, we can do that. That's fine.
Well, what if like group C met on Monday the 8th and then group D met on the 15th and then we all met together on the 22nd? Would that give us enough time? I mean, do we all need to meet weekly?
Hey, bud, how are you? I'd be okay with that if you guys are okay with that. Look, as long as we're in a pretty good position and can
Uh,
begin to put a bow on this by the end of the month, as long as we have made really good progress by the end of the month, I'm not necessarily, and if we wanted to, we could both meet at the same time next week. I
Mhm.
In the
could put us
breakout
into two
rooms.
breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we just meet? We'll go into 2 breakout rooms. We'll get as much done as we can. Obviously, we can work asynchronously, but that'll give us a half an hour to an hour of dedicated work time together.
Good idea.
You all good with that?
Yeah, that's great.
Can somebody send, and this sounds, well, I can do it, but I need an ICS file. I need a calendar invite.
Yeah, no, I'll do that. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you.
I will absolutely do that. Yep.
Okay.
So I'll
And
send out a calendar invite.
And could I ask all of the members of Group B if you would just take a cursory look before next week at the standard and just make some mental notes, so we'll be able to hit the ground running on next Monday.
Sounds good. All right, any other thoughts? All right, Hunada, do I have permission to ask another question out of ignorance?
Oh, please go
What
ahead.
time is it where you are?
It's 10:30 p.m.
Oh, okay. So it's not like the middle of the night.
No,
I only feel a
no.
little bit guilty. Okay.
No. I'm okay, actually. Actually, it's better for me because during the day, I am extremely busy. I cannot even, honestly, this time is better for me.
Well, back during COVID, we had a student who had a gifted IEP, a gifted individualized education plan. And the family was from here, but they had family over in China, and one of their loved ones was very ill, so they were over there, and we literally had an IEP meeting at 2 in the morning over there, and I did feel terrible, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen a parent so engaged at 2 a.m. ever.
Wow, wow, wow. In the middle of the sleep, that would
In
be
the middle
maybe
of
the
the night,
brain.
she was on point. It was awesome.
Wow.
All right, anything else for the good of the order? All right, well, I mean this sincerely. I am humbled to work with this group. There are a lot of functioning brain cells in this Zoom room right now. and a lot of experience. And I'm just humbled to be a part of the group. So I wish you a wonderful week. I wish you, it's always an interesting holiday week. So while we will celebrate fireworks, may there not be any fireworks in any of our lives. All right, great to meet you. You'll have an email from me by the end of the day.
Great, thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank
Blessings.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Mark.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Uh-huh.
you, Mark.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.